talked about the fact that at one point you were outsourcing and then eventually you went to hire internally. How do you make that kind of decision about whether you outsource versus whether you have internal people? What's kind of your metrics or your decision matrix for that?
Honestly, accounting is a little bit different because it can be different for different positions. But the first one is just speed. How fast can something get done? And the truth is, if you hire an outside firm such as TCA or another accounting firm, if they have the personnel and a large army of personnel, then you know that at least someone there has experience enough to get done the thing you need to get done. Mm-hmm. That's one part is speed, but the second part typically is, just accounting people. We look at the budget side of things. Does it make sense budget wise? Because when it comes down to it, sometimes it's just makes more sense to have an outside firm do the task for you in a lot of different ways, because outside appearance, it might be somewhat spendy or expensive to some people. But the truth is, if you look at what you're getting for it and the fact that usually those firms have expertise and quality, then it makes it a much easier decision budget-wise, because, again, the whole hiring is guessing. You don't want to guess on that. And it's less of a guess when you have an outside firm doing something for you, because, again, this is something they've done over and over. They have practice. You can check even online a lot of times that they have reviews, and it just makes it that's usually what's weighing those decisions. But especially if there's compliance things too, tax compliance type of things makes it a little different, because now you have an actual deadline. If a deadline's looming, it's much more likely to just find someone to fill the gap. But it's also based off of those quality of people too. Again, the difference and going back to what I said before, is a lot of my experience has given me the opportunity to have insight on other people, and knowing when to use those and activate those is based off a lot of what I know they can do. But that's typically what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the things you touched on is it really depends on how quickly it takes to get something done, and that kind of inspired the point in my mind that it takes a lot of time and energy to go through the hiring process, to recruit people or get the candidates in, evaluate resumes, get the candidates in, do the interviewing, make your decision. And then, like you said, hiring is guessing. So you do all that and to do the best you can, and then it's somewhat of a crapshoot anyway. And so, I think that's, it's fortunate that you knew somebody when you're talking about Andrew that you could hire in quickly, because you got to avoid some of that, right?
Absolutely.
With that process.
Yeah, and at the time, TiCar Advisor TCA didn't have implementation services, so I couldn't draw upon that to fix things. So
so now you would call us in, we would get it done.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah.